the Murray myth. The ideas of anthropologist, Egyptologist, and occult dabbler, and perhaps witch Margaret Murray, 1863 to 1963, were popularized in two of her better-known works, The Witch Cult in Western Europe, 1921, and The God of the Witches, 1933. The latter eventually became a bestseller in England. The Murrayite theory stated that witchcraft could be traced back to pre-Christian times, having been preserved through the centuries by witches. Not only does witchcraft predate Christianity, Murray affirmed, it was once the ancient pagan religion of Western Europe. It supposedly survived in small scattered groups who practiced the old religion. But by this time it was fragmented due to persecution from the dominant Western religion, Christianity. Thus, the old religion was the surviving pre-Christian religion of Western Europe, still practiced by the faithful, but only clandestinely. The history of ancient witchcraft and witchcraft in the Middle Ages, and Satanism for that matter, is a very convoluted and confused subject point. Still, there is little doubt that small pockets of various types of paganistic beliefs and practices persisted up through the medieval period, particularly in rural regions. Thus, by way of local familial agricultural/fertility traditions and superstitions, numerous folks really were involved in forms of occultic beliefs and practices. However, these medieval remnants of pre-Christian paganism were not the remains of an elaborate, matriarchal mother goddess mystery religion, as many contemporary witches would have us believe. The Murrayite theory is thus unsupported by the facts. Contemporary witchcraft is quite different from its medieval and Enlightenment period counterparts. That is, the agricultural/fertility traditions that survived from ancient times through the Middle Ages and into the early modern era are not the same as modern witchcraft, except that they are both forms of the overarching category of occultism. Nonetheless, Murray's views influenced many, including one Gerald Gardner, to whom we now turn our attention. Gerald Gardner, 1884 to 1964, almost single-handedly revived, invented, and popularized witchcraft for the modern world. Based on his associations, experiences, extensive occultic background, studies, travels, and familiarity with magical texts, grimoires, and Margaret Murray's works, he crafted modern witchcraft. Indeed, Gardner was a man with many occultic connections. He was a member of Freemasonry, the Rosicrucians, and a seventh-degree initiate of the Ordo Templi Orientis, O.T.O. He was an acquaintance of Mabel Besant Scott, daughter of leading theosophist Annie Besant, and of the infamous Aleister Crowley, a British civil servant. Gardner spent much time in Ceylon, modern Sri Lanka, and worked and traveled throughout India and Southeast Asia, as well as visiting the Middle East. While in Ceylon he was initiated into Freemasonry and became a nudist. An accomplished amateur anthropologist and archaeologist, Gardner's interests gravitated toward the religions and religious paraphernalia of native societies. He even wrote a book on Malaysian ceremonial weaponry, and participated in an archaeological excavation in Palestine of a center of worship of the goddess Astaroth. Upon his retirement and return to England, Gardner became involved with the Corona Fellowship of Rosicrucians, founded by Mabel Besant Scott. Here he contacted numerous occultists and allegedly some witches, including Dorothy Clutterbuck, Old Dorothy, who supposedly initiated him into a witchcraft, the old religion. He revealed some secrets of the coven to which he claimed to belong and its mother goddess in a novel entitled High Magic's Aid in 1949. This was written under a pseudonym. His magical name, Sire Gardner's Witchcraft Today, was published in 1954, after the witchcraft laws in England were rescinded, in 1951. The meaning of witchcraft followed in 1959. In Witchcraft Today, Gardner further unveiled his goddess religion, as he described the survival of this old pre-Christian religion, Murray's theory, and his initiation into it. In his writings, Gardner drew upon his occultic experiences, travels, the writings of Murray, the help of Aleister Crowley, and his knowledge of Freemasonry, Rosicrucianism, Theosophy, Western ritual/sex magic, magical texts, and various native Asian and Near Eastern religions and their occultic paraphernalia. Borrowing from these and other sources, Gardner invented his own religion, founding it upon the Mother Goddess. To this witch's brew he added the doctrine of reincarnation. Thus, rather than merely revealing and reviving an ancient goddess religion, as he claimed, the resourceful Gardner actually created modern witchcraft. Hail Satan, hail thyself, blessed be. L.